Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start our next topic, Bohr's model of atom. Till now we have done Thomson model and Rutherford model. Thomson given us the model of atom in which he compared his model with watermelon, and he said that positive part, the red edible part of the watermelon, is the positive sphere of atom, and negative electrons are embedded in the positive sphere just like seeds. Then after that came Rutherford model. Rutherford done Goldstein experiment in which he bombarded fast moving alpha particles on gold foil, and from that he observed that most of the space inside the atom is empty, and inside the atom there is a very small nucleus which is hard and concentrated. These were the conclusions of Bohr model, Rutherford model. Then limitation of Rutherford model. Rutherford said that electrons are revolving around the atom in circular path. When other scientists came, they apply his model. They said that when electron is revolving in a electric field, when a charged particle revolves in an electric field, it keeps on shorten its path and it follows a spiral path, and finally a situation arises when electron will finally fall down into the nucleus and the atom will collapse. This we have discussed in our last module. So, for overcoming that limitation, Bohr came. Neil Bohr given us these postulates, that he said that only certain discrete special orbits are possible for all the electrons. Each electron occupy its own discrete orbit, okay, inside the atom. And when electron revolve in its discrete orbit, it do not lose its energy, neither it gain its energy. Neither it lose its energy, neither it gain its energy. It do not radiate any energy while moving in a particular orbit. So you can see the diagram, figure 4.3. Inside the atom is a nucleus. After that, circular shells are given. First shell is K shell, next is L shell, then M shell, then N shell. We can say that N equals to 1, N equals to 2, N equals to 3, and N equals to 4. This is all about shells. This is the Bohr model of atom. Next we will do the how electrons are distributed in different orbits. For distribution of electron, let's first of all recall our atomic number. So this is our atomic series from hydrogen to argon. 18 elements are given. We have already discussed atomic number, electrons, protons and neutrons. Here we are going with the distribution of electrons. You know atomic number is equals to number of electrons. Atomic number is from 1 to 20 and number of electrons are also from 1 to 20. Simple counting is there. So let's do the distribution. So we are having shells K, L, M and N. In the first shell, in hydrogen, 1 electron is there. So in K shell, 1 electron will go. In helium, 2 electrons are there. So in K shell, 2 electrons will go. In lithium, 3 electrons are there. So in lithium, 3 electrons are there. 2 electrons will go in K shell, as K shell cannot accommodate more than 2 electrons, and 1 electron that is left behind will move to the next shell, L shell. Then beryllium. Beryllium is having 4 electrons. 2 electrons will go in K shell and next 2 will go to the L shell. Similarly for other boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, first 2 electrons will go in the K shell and next electrons will move to the L shell. Now for K shell it cannot accommodate more than 2 electrons, maximum 2 electron it can accommodate. Then after that in L shell it can accommodate maximum 8 electrons. You can see the configuration of neon, it is accommodating only 8 electrons in its valence shell. So when we go to the sodium, for sodium atomic number is 11. First shell will comprise 2 electrons, then next 8 electrons, and then in next one electron will go. The 1 electron which is left behind will go to the M shell. Similarly for magnesium 282, for aluminium 283, for silicon 284, then for phosphorus 285, sulfur 286, chlorine 287, and then argon 288. Then after that potassium and calcium is there. For potassium 19 atomic number is there, it is having 19 electrons. the configuration will be 2881. Then after argon, potassium is there, after potassium, calcium is there. For calcium, configuration will be 2882. Now let's go with the valency. For valency part, see, you can see helium, neon and argon. These are stable noble gases. In helium, maximum 2 electrons are there. In neon, maximum 8 electrons are there in the outermost shell. And in argon, in the outermost shell, 8 electrons are there. So for these in which they are completely filled, helium is forming duplet, neon and argon are forming octet. For these cases, valency will be 0. They will neither gain electron, they will neither lose electron. For atoms having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valence electrons, their valency will remain as it is. For hydrogen, 1 electron is there, so valency will be 1. For lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4 valence electrons are there, valency will remains the same. You can see for sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon also 1, 2, 3, 4 valency remains the same. Now for greater than 4, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, you will subtract the number of valence electrons from 8. 8 minus 5, 3, 8 minus 6, 2, 8 minus 7, 1. For case of phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine, in case of phosphorus is an exceptional. It will form 3 as well as 5. 5 directly and 3, 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2 and 8 minus 7 is 1. That's how this valency part is.